Hello my loves and welcome back to the channel. My name is Katie and I'm sure you saw the title of today's video. Guys, today's videos are gonna get so silly and insane, but they're a fun watch, so make sure to watch to the end. And y'all know I typically don't ask y'all to do that, but trust me, these are gonna be interesting. Guys, so you know I have been reporting about this thing with Australia. Australia is wanting to get Amber Heard over. They are trying to summons her, they are trying to get her extradited over to Australia. And they are trying to get her for perjury because in the UK trial and in the US trial, information came out that she lied. She lied about smuggling her dogs, Pistol and Boo, onto the island continent, which ends up being a huge, huge issue for Australia. And it can devastate their everything about what they do, their economy. It can devastate the biosphere. And so there's so much going on with this that, guys, there's more to it because now we're having reports and sources and different places saying that there's way more than just the dog smuggling that's happening. Yes, they're mad. Yes, they want to make an example out of her, but are we talking about trafficking? Specifically, things that are pharmaceuticals that may or may not be, that don't have prescriptions. Please infer. It's YouTube. I'm trying really hard not to upset anybody. And we've got some key interesting pieces of possible evidence as to what's happening with that. Because this is what a lot of people are saying, and I can kind of understand. I understand that the Minister of Agriculture, right, Barnaby Joyce, love Barnaby, he cracks me up, right? He just did another interview talking about they are trying to figure out what to do. They're like, look, if they could get Edward Snowden, right, well, not Edward Snowden, but if they're trying to get Julian Assange, right, why can't we get Amber Heard and Johnny Depp over here? Why can't we do that? And he's very much been very vocal about this, to the point where it's like, yes, it's an important issue to raise, right? That you don't want to be smuggling animals and stuff to completely, mess up Australia. But it sounds like there's more than that, and we also know our FBI is involved with this. So how far does this go? We're actually going to take a look into this and try to dive in and see exactly what we can find. But before we do, if you're new here and you like videos like this, make sure and subscribe, hit the notification bell. Would love to have you. We giggle at all the nonsense in the mainstream news because they all lie to us all the time. So let's just laugh at how stupid it all is. Also, guys, giving away a $100 gift card. Very simple to be entered and eligible, and almost nobody's doing this, so you have a good shot. Like the video, subscribe, hit notifications, comment, share the content, watch a video from start to finish. Boom, you're entered, you're eligible. That's it. Do it for every video you see, guys. Every single video, because the more times you do it, the more times you're entered. I will have a winner August 1st announced. So let's jump on and see what your girl has found. So first, when it comes to substances, here we go. Okay, I had to make sure it's all blown up. Okay, is it recording? Good. Gotta make sure I got my ducks in a row. So this is an article. This is from May 17th from Insider. A little bit older, but gives us some insight into the pharmaceutical, I'm going to call it pharmaceutical use. Amber Heard says her sister taught Johnny Depp snort cocaine with a tampon applicator. What? Okay, remember this one? Johnny Depp's lawyers cross-examined Amber Heard Monday afternoon. The lawyers asked her about a picture that showed lines of cocaine next to a tampon applicator. Heard said her sister taught Depp to use it to snort cocaine. Isn't he a recovering addict? Why is anybody putting this stuff around him? Question. Amber Heard said that her sister Whitney taught Johnny Depp to snort pharmaceuticals with a tampon applicator, a striking moment in an ongoing defamation trial. The actress was responding to a photo presented in court by one of Depp's lawyers that showed 4 lines of pharmaceuticals next to a tampon applicator on a table. Heard said she took the picture at her apartment in Orange, California in 2013. Why take that picture if not to embarrass him? I don't know. Just another question. Why would you do that? It came as Depp's lawyers argued against Heard's claim that Depp physically hurt her numerous times while under the influence of pharmaceuticals. When you snort pharmaceuticals, typically it goes into your nose and then it doesn't stay on the table. There's residue from that pharmaceutical when your lips and nose touch the table, right? Depp's lawyer, Camille, asked Heard. She responded, the tampon applicator next to the driver's license that you see is the device that I believe my sister had taught him to use in order to put cocaine in. Vasquez did not respond to the claim about the applicator and instead went on to question her about the couple's divorce settlement. Heard was also questioned about other pictures in her cross-examination, one of which appeared to show Depp passed out on a sofa with ice cream spilled on him. Court proceedings, the defamation trial in Fairfax, Virginia resumed Monday. So we won't go into all of that. That's the first one where we hear about pharmaceutical use, right? But we've got more. Yeah, no, oh, it's not over. So here's another one. If you guys remember, one of the big rumors was that Amber was on something, maybe some type of pharmaceuticals, maybe she should or shouldn't be, during the trial. That it looked like she was sneaking pills, and then there were things about what she was sniffing. So a lot of people were thinking that she was literally on the stand taking stuff. So let's go into this. The trial of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard is on a pause. Nevertheless, fans around the world found a video of Heard sniffing a tissue in a non-conventional way. Social media users started making their own wild assumptions and creating theories as the video went viral. Many social media users believe Amber Heard is sniffing pharmaceuticals during the trial. This says, however, it's not the case. Funny enough, guys, I worked with a guy who, and now you got to understand, there's certain things about me I'm very naive about, okay? One is pharmaceutical use and partying lifestyle. I've never been a part of that. And that's not some big flex. Guys, sometimes I would love to go get obliterated out of my mind. But I'm somebody who's had so many health issues in my life, and I have such a sensitive body and nervous system, I can't do any of that stuff. If I were to go get drunk, I'll be in the hospital with histamine issues, right? It's not something I can do. I have horrible asthma, can't smoke anything. Like, I've only done marijuana once in Canada, like my early 20s where it was legal. I ate a brownie, and we had to call paramedics, and it was worst experience of my life. It was horrific. I won't go into it, right? And I didn't want to do it. I just got really, really pressured, and I was like, okay. And I realized, I was like, no, this is not so this kind of culture is not something I'm good at all. But it's funny because there was a guy I worked with, and I kept thinking, I'm like, he's got to have some kind of weird cold or weird allergies. He kept constantly snorting, really weird, to the point where I felt bad for him. I'm like, something's wrong with him. I learned later he was on the same substance that they're talking about. I had no idea, but then understanding how crazy and erratic his behavior was, it made sense to me. But the whole time, and now, if I were to hear it, I would be able to spot it since I'd been through it. But funny enough, I was just like, he's got some, because the way he was snorting, it wasn't, like, I have allergies and asthma, right? I've got cold, I get colds, I've got infectious stuff that I go through with you guys know, that I deal with and I work on and stuff. So none of this is foreign to me, but I remember going, this sounds weird. Something's off in this. And that's what it was. But they're saying, it says, and so then here's somebody, it says, Slow's New Day. It says, yo, I've done some crap in my day, but I've never had the stones to do it in a courtroom. So let's see what this video looks like.
Mental condition. It doesn't, it's still hearsay, Your Honor.
All right, interesting. It says, what was Amber Heard sniffing? Analyzing the video, we see Heard with the tissue on her hands. She didn't take the tissue from the box. However, we'll analyze the situation later in the article. Amber Heard sniffs something from the tissue. The zoom image makes it obvious. So she sniffs something. Nevertheless, it is not probable that she was sniffing the substance, as rabid Twitter users pointed out. There are harsh penalties for consuming or carrying pharmaceuticals in a courthouse, and the security team makes sure they don't carry any illegal substances. Yeah, I mean, things can slip through, though, especially if people are pretty shady and tricky and known to lie and be deceptive. What is it then? In the second video, we can see that Amber Heard doesn't take any tissue. Forget about all the images showing she's sniffing the tissue. Concentrate on the box in her sleeve. It seems Amber Heard takes the tissue from her sleeve. She rolls her left sleeve with so much caution compared to the right one. And it says, menthol is a secret weapon to cry on TV. When Anna Faris visited The Late Show with James Corden, she said, crying sucks. For actors and actresses, crying represents a real challenge. Sometimes it is not natural to cry on set and in front of the cameras. Says, Faris shows there's a crying trick that helps crying when there's a sad scene. This is like a menthol crystal she described while holding the object. It's kind of like a Vicks vapor rub. There's an interesting chance that Amber Heard was sniffing menthol during the trial. In such a dramatic episode, tears away could help convince the jury. So either she's trying to manipulate the jury or she's on something. What? Last one. Here we go. And these are the things that people are pointing out as to why they think there could be some type of trafficking going on, more than the dogs. Here it is. Stephen Crowley. I saw Amber Heard do Pharmeceuticals. So she's lying. And they worked together in a 2008 movie. Says, Stephen Crowley knows Amber Heard. As they started together in the movie, Never Back Down. And he has stated that he saw her doing pharmeceuticals back then. The movie was released in 2008 when Heard was 22 years of age and spent time socializing with Crowley. Never Back Down was my first kind of role in doing something big on that scale. We were all young and we thought we were going to be stars, he recalled, speaking in an interview with Andy Signor. I was at her place the first time we hung out, and she is in the kitchen, and she goes, you party? And I'm like, oh yeah, I party. And she whips out some pharmeceuticals and starts doing them. I go, oh, I didn't know that's what party meant. I thought you meant hang out and let's drink. When I was like, if somebody's like, you want to party? Yeah, I want to go socialize and have fun with people. That's how I would look at it. I wouldn't drink it all, but I understand that's typically part of it. Crowley, therefore, is accusing Heard of lying during an ongoing trial against Depp. Says, when I'm watching the trial and what's going on, the thing that I find really irritating is just the lies, he says. At least Johnny Depp being a flawed alcoholic and an addict, at least he is open in admitting it. But with her, it's like there's so many people who know that it's not true. Why isn't anyone saying anything? The other confusing part is how there are no text messages from her talking about pharmeceuticals outside of weed and mushrooms. She once said she would much rather be addicted to this, referring to the one pharmaceutical than to cigarettes. The Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial has been going on for several weeks already and could reach a conclusion this coming week. He is suing her for defamation and Heard is countersuing, which has opened up a whole can of worms about their respective lives. So guys, with all the weird, funny stuff that's happened with this trial, with addiction issues, with these types of issues, and on top of the fact that Australia keeps going so hard at her, people are really questioning this has to be more than just the dogs. Not that the dogs isn't important. I'm not saying that's not important. We don't want to do anything to hurt Australia. We love our Aussies. But is there more going on as to this situation as to why they want to get her? Are we going to see them summoned back to Australia? Is this going to happen? What is this? Because here's the other part too that you have to think about. And we'll get into this in other videos. Amber Heard, you know, she said it was a big innocent mistake with Boo and the pistol, right? With the dogs. So they made that video, declare everything in Australia. They kind of got a slap on the wrist, whatever, they go about their way. Amber Heard then goes on to insult Barnaby Joyce, goes on to insult him on social media, make fun of him, makes fun of him in interviews, makes fun of the situation, right? Is just real flippant and arrogant about it. And then we find out she was lying the whole time. And she also, guys, with this situation, she was trying to force her assistant to lie and threatening their job if they didn't lie about this to Australia. But is there more going on? And are we going to see more surrounding this? I kind of have a feeling there might be. We'll have to wait and see. But guys, if you like this video and you want to see more like this, make sure and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Would love to have you. And my $100 gift card giveaway, it greatly helps out my channel. And y'all can win my money. And not many people are doing this, so you have a good shot. Like the video, subscribe, hit notifications, comment, share the content, watch this video from start to finish, and boom, you're entered, you're eligible. That's all you have to do. Guys, yeah, do it for every video, because then you have more chances to win. And somebody's gonna win, so might as well be you. All right, guys, I think that's it for me here today. Take care, lots of love, lots of blessings. Till the next video, I'm giving everybody hugs, mwah, kisses, stay safe, and I will see you soon.